today we are visiting with Mrs. Nannie Hart. Mrs. Nannie Hart lives down at Pynes. Mrs. Hart, we have the camera on you now. Would you tell us when you were born?
August 11th, 1894.
1894. Okay, and who were your parents?
Dr. W.T. Eford and Claudie Stoker Eford.
Okay, and they lived at Pynes the time you were born?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall your grandparents' names?
Well, let's see. Giles and Nancy Eford.
Okay. Now, you said you went to school at Lafayette, is that right? I mean at Pynes, is that right?
Till I finished there.
When finished, what grade is that?
Well, I think back the 10th was the highest they taught.
10th highest. And then you went off to school?
To Pritchett a year.
Pritchett. And Pritchett was a, what they call a normal.
Normal institution. Mm-hmm.
I guess that'd be the same as a junior high school.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, and then you went from there where?
To Baylor College.
How long did you go to Baylor?
I went to a year.
A year. You didn't study any particular subject or?
No, I just took a, straight course of everything.
Okay. I understand that as a young girl, you knew Reverend Burl Cannon, and you saw his model of an airship. Is that right?
Well, now who was he?
Reverend Burl Cannon, who built the Ezekiel airship.
Oh, yeah, yeah, down there.
And you saw the model, is that
At Baylor, yeah.
Now, I believe in the previous interview, you told us you didn't remember too much about the airship, just saw it now.
No, just saw it. I don't know too much about it, but I do remember, seeing it.
Okay, well, that's important himself. Now, when you went to Pritchett, do you recall anything that happened down there that might have been interesting or unusual?
Well, no, we just, I boarded with some cousins of mine at a certain place with an elderly man.
Could you give us their name?
They're dead. No, I forgot their name.
Okay, that's all right.
It's been so long. You see, I'm up in 90 now.
Okay, now, did we get your birth date a while ago?
11th of August, 1894.
Okay. Now, while you're in Baylor, did I ask you that, whether you knew anything or anything unusual happened down there? Meet any good-looking boys down there?
Well, no, we didn't have much boy company. There's a boy I used to try to go with me, but I wouldn't go with him. He'd try to slip up there and go.
I see. Okay, now, where did you meet Robbie, do you recall?
Well, after I come home and from Baylor, I went to church one day, and always songbooks get scattered all over the church, and I was around picking up the songbooks, and somebody walked up behind me. I looked around, and he spoke to me, told him we weren't on the date, and that's the first time I'd ever seen him, and of course I might have in years, I don't know.
Was that after you had gone to Baylor?
After I'd gone to Baylor and come home.
I see.
And he wanted to date. I said, well, I guess so, kind of hateful, First time I'd met him, he said I was so hateful.
Well, how long did you go to him?
We went together 2 years before we married. He wanted to get married, but I'd been gone so long with my family, and my daddy needed me at the store so bad. He had a big, nice brick store there and everything.
I see. Now, someone had asked me, or had told me, that Mr. Eford didn't practice medicine after he went to college, but...
No, but he had all kind of medicine.
And he did practice medicine as well as run the store?
Oh, yeah, we were in the store.
We wanted to get that straight. Was there any other store in Pynes during your lifetime that you recall, other than the two stores which I...
Well, no, he was on the store for a long time. Then the Woods boys, Jim Woods and them, they put in a store.
I see. They were across the railroad track.
Across the railroad track. There was just two stores there for a long time.
I see.
And my daddy was postmaster and everything there and everything, and as long as he lived.
Do you know what years he was postmaster down there?
Oh,
approximately.
Offhanded, I just don't remember all of them, but all my life he was.
I see.
He was postmaster, and there wasn't nobody else there.
I see. Okay, now, after you were married, you had some children.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to tell us about those?
Well, we had our oldest son, William. You know him.
I know William.
If we was married about 3 years, and then we had our other son, Leon, had two boys and one girl. And our other boy had an accident. He was going through a barbed wire fence, and he come from service, and his britches got hung in the wire, and he got killed. Awful sad. And then we have a daughter, Runette. She lives in Hughes Springs. I told
Give
you.
her last name now, who she married.
Alexander.
Okay, now. And
Norman Alexander.
How about grandchildren?
I have 3 grandchildren, all little girls.
I see.
And they all married and got children of their own. One lives in Louisiana and one in Longview, and Nan, the oldest one, lives down there at Hughes Springs.
I see. Okay, now, you belong to the Baptist church down there in
Baptist church.
all your life, I suppose.
Yeah, all my life. My daddy was a Baptist preacher. He was ordained to preach.
Okay, now let's go to Mr. Hart now. You and I were talking before this, but we weren't on camera. Who were his parents?
Olin and Julie Hart.
Okay, and when was he born?
October the 16th, 1892.
And
I was
you
born
recall his grandparents?
Well, that's Grandpa Reeder's name, was his grandparents.
Okay. Now, he was born over around New Mine.
Oh, a New Mine, New Mine.
Okay. Now, back in your younger years and years past, do you recall going to the Northeast Texas Fair?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to tell us about this?
Well, no, Mr. and Ms. Woods and her daughters, she had 3 daughters, and my mother and me, we always got passes anywhere we wanted to go. We used to go to the fair and around every year, had a good time.
Do you recall any event that happened at the fair as unusual?
Well, no, not that I recall.
Well, I happen to know that there was an airplane landed out there, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
were you there at that time?
Yeah, we did see that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now there was a balloon ascension out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the bands,
Mm-hmm.
good band, and performances out at the grandstand.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you had something to do with the Pynes booth, I guess you say, in the exhibit hall every year, didn't you? I believe Pynes put a booth out in the exhibit hall, agricultural.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you recall coming to Pittsburg and hearing a band concert anytime during the summer months?
Well, I used to come. I had a cousin up here, Jill Leaford, Uncle John Leaford's daughter. I'd go up on the train, go with her out there. You know, she'd call me and tell me what they're going to have.
Okay.
You remember?
For anyone who doesn't know, the Pittsburgh schools had no band until after World War II.
Yeah.
But during the 20s and 30s, the Rotary Club sponsored a band. And each Friday night during the summer months, they had a band concert up at the bandstand, which is up near where the fire station now is. And everyone went up and listened to the band concert and got together for a little gathering up there, I guess you'd say. Okay. Okay, Ms. Hart, I wanted to ask you about Robert. Was he in military service?
No.
He wasn't in. How about you?
He was called, but the war was closed before he went. He was called. He had a crop and everything together, but it was over with. He was in the last call.
That was in World War I. How about William? Was he in service during this?
This last one, him and both the boys was in this last one, World War II.
In World War II?
Yeah, Robert was just winding up his business. William was our baby. And my daddy told him, says, now I never will forget it, said, don't you worry 1 minute. Her and that baby won't never want for a thing. He was so crazy about the baby, William.
Oh, good. Well, do you think of any event which is funny or a story that you'd like to tell us now that might be of interest to those who come on later on and might see this?
Well, I don't think of anything. It's just I haven't got one thing. That's for everybody to try to live and do right.
Well, we thank you for this interview, and I'm sorry that Robert was not able to be
Well,
here.
I am too. I'm so sorry. He'd been so much help and could have told us much more. I'm just been so nervous since he's been sick. And
Well, we appreciate your time and appreciate your help.
well, you're welcome. I'm just glad to do anything for anybody, and I used to when I was younger and all. First come here, I could do lots, but I can't do much now.
Well, time affects us all. So we'll go now, and thank you again.
Well, thank you all.
Now at the Pittsburg Nursing Center, and we have with me now Mr. Edgar Reed. I'm going to ask him a few questions. Mr. Reed, will you tell us when you were born?
1907.
1907. And where did your parents live when you were born?
Childers County.
Where?
Childers?
Childers, Texas.
Yeah.
That's way up,
Way on up yonder.
way on up the border.
Side of Fort Worth.
It gets pretty hot up there, I guess.
Huh?
Gets pretty hot up there in the summer.
Yeah.
Okay, you went to school up there?
No, I moved to Camp County and Upshur County.
When did you come to Camp County?
Oh, I was about 3 years old.
About 3 years old. Okay, and you went to school in Camp County and Upshur County.
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember anything that happened while you were in school that you think we ought to know about? Anything that's interesting? Anything that's funny?
Oh, I played basketball, such as that. Football, baseball.
You played all of it
Yeah.
and enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, how far in school did you go?
6.
Went through 6th grade.
Mm.
That's typical back in those days. I know my
Yeah.
dad.
About 7 high as it was.
Well, I guess you worked on the farm most of your life.
Yeah, practically all my life.
Okay, and were you in service, military service?
No, sir.
Was not in military service. Okay, where did you meet your wife? Do you know?
Probably.
Bromley. She lived in Bromley.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know the date that you got married?
24th, 1924.
Okay. Now, let me go back a little bit. Do you know your parents' mother's given name and your dad's given name?
Jim Reed.
What was their given name?
My mother's name, she was a Dempsey.
Dempsey?
Mm.
Okay, did they live at Childress or they come down here natives?
They lived in Alabama
Alabama. You know what part of Alabama?
before they married.
Before they married.
Yeah.
You know what part of Alabama?
No, there was a.
That's a big state. I've been there several places. That's a very interesting state. Okay, you know your grandparents' name?
Yeah, C.A. Dempsey and Mark Reed. Mark.
Okay. Now let's see. You said you were not in military service.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'll get back to you in a minute. I'll go to Ms. Reed now. Ms. Reed, will you
Let me forget a while.
we can't forget today. Can you tell us where your parents lived when you were born?
Bromley,
At Bromley.
in Upshur County.
You want to tell when that was?
When I was born, 1906.
1906. Okay, that's all right. Just be thinking you had that many years. Okay, you want to tell your parents' name?
John and Lily Eford.
John and Lily Eford, all right. And what were their occupations? They farmers?
Farmers.
Okay. You went to school at
Bromley,
Bromley? All the way?
all the way.
All the way, okay. Do you remember anything funny that happened while you were in school down there?
Nah, I can't remember that far back.
I didn't ask you. Edgar, did you get a whipping while you were in school?
No, I didn't get one in school, but I got one from my mother when I got home.
That was typical. Okay, after you finished school, did you work anybody? Did you just decide to get married at that time?
We was just 17 when we married, so
You didn't have time to work.
we didn't work nothing.
Okay, how about your children?
We got 3 children,
Okay, you want to give their names?
Famer and Lillian and James Calvin.
Okay.
2 girls and a boy.
Okay. Now, when you were growing up, did you ever go to what they call the Northeast Texas Fair?
Oh, yes.
You want to tell us something about that, what you saw?
No, I'll tell you, that was our honeymoon. We got married and went on out to the fair.
Well, that's good. I know of one couple that even got married at the fair.
Well, we got married that morning. We went to the fair and we got married that morning and went right on out to the fair.
Well, now that's the kind of stories we're looking for.
It is? Well, that's it.
That's an interesting story.
Uh-huh.
And do you remember anything about the fair? Particularly?
No, not particular. I really don't. You know, they
Did
had...
you go to the grandstand?
Oh, yeah. We
You
went, you know.
recall what kind of performance was out there?
Yeah, but I forgot what it was. Anyhow, we, well, you know, I believe, yeah, at one time they had airplanes to come over, and we saw the airplane show.
Okay, now, do you know what year you say that was?
1924.
1924. Well, they had several airplanes before then, as I recall. But there's still one out there. I think about that time they had 2 planes out there, and I believe one person changed from one plane to the other. I think about that time.
Yeah, sure did.
I think I must have seen that one too.
No, you're not that old.
Well, I was just a little child.
Oh, I see.
Excuse me. Okay, did you ever come to town and to see the Northeast, hear a band play, band concerts? You never got the Rummer's too far, right down there.
That's too far, yeah.
That's out of Camp County. It's close by, though.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's see, did you come to Pittsburgh very much?
About once a week.
About once a week?
Saturday.
Saturday? Do you know what store you trade with? There's always one store.
W.L. Garrett. You know, they've been there forever and ever. That was one in particular.
Or were there.
Yeah, they were there. They're gone now.
There had been some controversy uptown recently about that building. The little awning out at the front out there and inset. Do you remember it being any other than what it is now?
No, I don't believe I do. I really don't.
I don't either. Okay, now.
I guess it's always been like that, I guess.
I think it has too. Okay, doctor, you use doctor in Pittsburgh or?
Dr. Bates.
Dr. Bates, he's well known in Pittsburgh. Back in
Yes.
those days. Okay, now, do you remember anything about the old courthouse that used to stand up here on Main Street?
I really don't. I really don't.
Do you remember any other event that you came to Pittsburgh, like rodeos or?
Oh yeah, rodeos.
Came to rodeos outside the fairground? Out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seemed like I remember something about having some horse races out there too.
They did have horse races.
Well, I thought.
Automobile races out there.
Yeah, I thought they did.
Sure did.
Yeah.
I remember the little bobtail Model T races they built. Some of them built like a hornet with a pointed tail they had out there.
Yeah,
racing. I recall those. They used to go out on that track and just turn suddenly and swing the back end around. Edgar, you remember that, I bet.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, back before the World War II, they used to have a drawing every week uptown. Did you ever come to those?
Yeah, I sure did. Never did get anything though.
Didn't get.
Never did win anything.
Well, I beat you. I got $2 a week.
Really?
Yes, and it broke their heart.
I bet it did.
I had the only sound system. I had built a sound system. I had the only sound system, and I charged them $2 a week to put it up. And they like broke their heart to pay it, but they did.
Had to, didn't they?
Okay, let's go back over here to Edgar now. Edgar, you think of something you want to tell us about, something you come to see about that fair or something?
Oh, yeah, car races, airplanes, and stuff like that. I see the one fall in that pond. You remember that pond up there?
Yes, is that on the fairgrounds there?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a plane hit a tree outside, tore the wing off it. There's woman in there. You kind of ride. So much to ride. And that thing fell in that water, and that she was.
Okay,
You didn't even hurt her.
I had forgotten that.
Yeah.
It seemed like I do remember
That's
now.
right.
But did you know that pond was there before the fair was built, and it's still there?
Yeah.
That's something for history right there. Okay, how about your honeymoon out there? You want anything you especially recall about it?
Oh, no, we didn't anything about it.
Okay. Is he saying he wants to forget about that?
Trying to forget it.
Okay, you want to tell us something about the roads, how good they were back in the old days.
Well, in the wintertime there were mud, and in the summertime it was deep sand. Deep sand, what I mean.
Well, where'd you go, in a wagon? Or
A wagon.
How about the automobile?
Didn't see no automobile. Yeah, the wagon and mules. A couple of mules to the wagon.
I kind of remember those days.
You do? Yeah, well, that's
Do
right.
you recall any special trip you made?
No, not really. I'm going to tell you what we used to do, though.
Okay.
Because we'd go to Gilmer shopping. And
Okay, I don't know why you won't go to Gilmer. Go ahead.
it was closer.
Okay.
And Papa would load 2 bales of cotton up on the wagon. We'd all get up on that 2 bales of cotton and go to Gilmer. And Mom would buy our school clothes. And we went twice a year. We'd go in the spring and we'd go in the fall. That's twice a year when we went to Gilmer. But Papa comes to Pittsburg oftener than that. Nearly every Saturday he'd have to come up to Pittsburg.
And stay till late in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, some of them would be dark when he'd get home.
Yeah, I know
sure
some
would.
we left after dark to get home.
Yeah, honey, he would. A lot of times it's after dark getting home. He sure would.
Okay, let's go back to Edgar again. Edgar, you think of something
I don't know
about those
nothing.
good roads?
I don't know nothing else.
Well, wait a minute. You never went fishing in your life?
Huh?
You never went fishing?
Fishing? Oh, yeah, I went fishing last
Where'd you go
time.
fishing?
First one place to another.
You just slip off and go fishing, did you?
Little Lake, Highland Lake.
Highland?
Sandy Lake.
You just have one of these running stops.
Huh?
You have a running stop in Highland and have a...
Oh, yeah. Mile long, yeah.
Yeah, I know all about Highland. I know about Little Lake,
You
too.
do?
So, do you think of anything else you might tell us that'd be interesting?
No.
Can't think of anything. Ms. Reed, do you think of anything else you might tell us?
I can't think. I surely don't.
Okay, we'd like to thank Mr. and Ms. Edgar Reed, who have come to us and have obliged us by telling a little about their goings on and what they did back in their youth and back in their other years. And we'll go now to someone else. Back to Ms. Reed now. She would just tell me who married her, and I think it's very interesting because, well, just tell her who married you.
Brother Lon Morris, was a banker in Pittsburg.
Okay, Brother Lon Morris, I believe, was a lay preacher as well as a banker.
He was.
So that's why he was able to marry you. And Brother Lon is long gone, but he left lots of footprints around this area.
Oh, yes.
And we all know about him, so I thought that would be important to get this on here anyway.
And my husband gave him $1 to marry us. He turned right around and gave it back to me.
How about that?
How about that? He did it. He sure did.
Okay, you think of anything else you might want to tell us like that?
No, I guess that's all. I better shut up.
Okay. Okay, we have now with me Mrs. Frances Stierwalt, and we'd like to ask her a few questions. Miss Stierwalt, can you tell me when you were born, if you will? Don't mind telling your age.
I was born, I'm older than the town I was born in.
Okay.
It was Mangum, Oklahoma.
And the date? You say you want to tell, didn't? You don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, 1903, I think it was.
1903? Okay, now, can you give me your parents' name?
Yes, My my parents were Hal McKnight,
Okay.
and my mother came from Kentucky. Her family had come into Oklahoma, had not been named a state yet. It was still part of the territory.
Do you know her parents' name?
Price,
Price.
P-R-I-C-E, and they came from Kentucky.
Do you know what part of Kentucky?
Louisville, I think it was.
I see. And your father, where did their folks come from?
My husband's,
Yeah.
his father was from Lawson, Oklahoma.
Lawton?
He was
Where that
sent,
is.
well, he was in the Army, and he was sent out to open that portion and that was named Oklahoma, Mangum, Oklahoma, for settlement. They had the run, which was quite a big thing in history, when they ran and claimed the land for homes.
And when was your husband born?
Let's see. Oh, my husband, Henry's birthday, well, Henry his family, he wasn't born in Oklahoma.
He wasn't?
No.
That was your father?
That was my father.
I see.
No, my father came to Oklahoma when he was 14 years old.
I see. Now your husband, where was he born?
Henry was born in, let's see, I guess Henry was born,
It's all right if you don't know it. So
I was trying to think which place it was. His family had lived there. I think he was born in Hugo, Oklahoma.
I see. That's not too far from here. Okay. You went to school where?
Oklahoma University.
I see. You went to grade school though. Where first?
First grade school I went in Mangum, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And then I went later to Oklahoma City.
I see.
Finished high school in Oklahoma City.
I see.
And then my family moved to Oklahoma City. And then I went down to Norman High School, Oklahoma University.
Now, I believe someone told me that you taught school, so.
I have.
Taught school? Where were you teaching?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City? I see. Now, when did you first come to Kemp County, Texas?
I haven't been here very long. I came to the nursing home.
I see.
Is the reason I'm here. My son has, as I said, my oldest son, my youngest son, has bought the lake out here. What's the name of?
On Bob Sandlin Lake?
Bob Sandlin Lake.
He's bought a place out there.
Well, he has the whole thing, and they built a store, and he runs they have a little store out there, and mostly fishing things and things like that. And then they have the lake. And then they also they have all kinds of things because they sell for the work in selling fishing license.
I see.
For the county. That's for the county.
Okay, since you're a newcomer here, what is your impression of this town and county and this section of the state?
Well, of course, I love the lake out there. I think it's beautiful out there. And what I've seen, I like it very much.
Okay. Miss Stierwalt, since you can't tell us too much about Kemp County, and that's our primary purpose here,
Yeah.
we want to thank you for coming and telling us what you have, and we appreciate it very much.
As I said, the big thing I came for was to be here in the nursing home.
I see.
And my son wanted me to come. We lived on further down the coast, right out of Corpus Christi, my husband and I. And but Hal, my son that's here, wanted us to come down here to the nursing home.
I see. Okay. And we thank you a lot. And with that, we'll leave the Pittsburg Nursing Center today, I believe. That's all we have today. And so we'll be back at another time with someone else. Okay, we have Mr. Clifford Spencer with us now. And Miss Spencer, we're going to ask you some questions. And right with me, though, before we get to Miss Spencer, let's introduce his son. Tell him, give me a name.
I'm Clifford Spencer, Jr.
Okay, and he's here to help his dad remember some things. So, you'll turn the camera now to Miss Spencer. Just sit easy. Okay, Miss Spencer, can you tell us when you were born?
1898,
Can you give us a month and date?
December the 11th, 1898.
December 1898. Okay, and where did your parents live when you were born?
7 miles out in the country, southwest of here.
Okay, what-
Yellow Bush, they call it. You know,
That's all right. I wanted to get that in.
Yellow Bush. It was Hopewell, but they called it first started as Yellow Bush.
Okay.
They built a little schoolhouse over there, and there was a bunch of little yellow bushes that growed up all around it. The first schoolhouse that ever built there. And Miss Miley Hooks, you never did know her. Jim Hooks is right. She was sister to Mr. William Lane. And there's a little yellow boy around there wondered what they're going to name the schoolhouse. And Miss Miley said, we'll name it Yellow Bush. And it went by the name of Yellow Bush for a long time. And the old people like me still called it Yellow Bush. Little yellow.
Now, Mr. Spencer, that's exactly what we came here for, to get stories like that as well as to find out about you. So that's something that these historians and these people who are writing pieces in college and different things, they want to know. And this may be the only way they have of knowing that. So those little stories like that are very important, and that's what we're here for. Okay, now, would you tell us your parents' name?
Al Spencer, or J.O. Spencer, and Alta. She was a Duffy. She married John Duffy, Alta Duffy.
And your grandparents, can you give any of their names?
Yeah, Grandpa was Bill Spencer, and Elmira was a Grandma Spencer.
Okay. See, our backup helped out that time. Our backup back here, you saw helped out
that's
that
right.
time, which is good. Okay, now, where did you go to school, Clifford?
Down there at Yellow Bush. First started the school. Uncle John Eford taught the school.
Who?
Uncle John Eford.
Johnny.
They married my mother's sister, ain't Ida Eford. There's 5 of them girls.
Now, was that Mrs. Reed we talked to yesterday? Is that her parents? Her daddy?
My mother's daddy?
No, Miss Reed. Here,
Oh.
Miss Edgar Reed. She was an Eford from over in that section somewhere. That's all right. We won't go into that right now. Okay, how far did you go in school? Do you recall?
I just finished high school.
Finished high school. Okay. And you didn't go off to school anywhere. Were you in military service?
Hmm.
Were you in military service? Army, Navy, or something like that during World War I? You didn't serve anything. Okay, and what did you do during your lifetime as far as work is concerned?
Farm and run a cotton gin.
Where's the
Farm.
cotton gin?
Run a cotton gin, yeah. Owned it. My daddy started the cotton gin, and he died. Then I bought the gin for my mother and run it for, I guess, how long, 40 years? Because we quit gin and cotton.
Okay. Now, your wife, Jessie, where was she born?
Simpsonville, Texas. That's 4 miles south of where I live, Simpsonville.
Okay, and what was her maiden name?
Clark, Jesse
Okay,
Clark.
Jessie Clark. And who were her parents? Do you recall?
Aunt Mag and Uncle Walter Clark, and Aunt Mag Hart. She was a Hart.
Okay. And go ahead if you have something else to say.
Well, I just wanted, she was, my mother-in-law was a Hart. Uncle George Hart, the old Uncle George Hart was blind, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then her daddy was Walter Clark.
I see. Okay, and I suppose she went to school down Simpsonville?
Yeah,
Now, if anyone who doesn't know Simpsonville, they call it Thomas sometimes.
that's right. Well, there was another Simpsonville somewhere, and so they called that Thomas. There's an old man that lived there by the name of Thomas, run a store. And so after they had found out there's another Simpsonville, they named it Thomas after this old man that lived there, old man Thomas, that lived there.
As far as the post office is concerned, it was always known as Thomas.
Yeah, but Miss Anna Cattenhead was the postmaster.
Yes.
Long for years, yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me when you all married?
I know, but I can't think. I can't think, but my thinking's pretty about gone. When did we marry, John?
August
Me
August the 7th,
What year was that?
1921.
1921.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, anything particular you want to tell about that marriage? Anything happened that night? We found one couple who got married and went to the fair that night.
To the fair?
Yes? Did you do anything like that?
Well, we went to we went to a party at William Lane's. Now, I'm not sure. Well, you remember William Lane? The man lived down
I
there.
remember the name.
Well, I think with the night we married, we went to that party first at William Lane's.
Okay, yes, I remember. Didn't know him, but I remember the name.
Yeah.
Okay, and how about children? How many children you have, and give us their names.
John, Dave, Ralph, and Richard. That's the kids in it.
Right.
He's the oldest, then Dave, then Ralph, and Richard.
Yeah. Okay, and let's see, Mr. Spencer, we've been trying to ask people about things that they recall about Pittsburg and about Kemp County. Now, I know we had a fair here, and I'm sure you remember coming to the fair,
Oh, yeah.
probably to the rodeo, probably to a drawing uptown, and things like that. Would you tell us about something about the fair, if you recall anything about it?
baseball?
Well, I played baseball in Pittsburg for several years. They had a organized little league like, and it played it on schedule. And I played baseball with Pittsburg. I was a backhand catcher, and I played with Pittsburg all the time.
Well, I think the Spencer name and baseball goes together anyway, doesn't it? Or sports altogether.
Well, they was yeah, I guess they would.
I think most of the boys.
Boys played football and basketball, all of them. Yeah.
Okay, do you recall anything about the fair?
Oh, the Pittsburg Fair?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, I remember a lot of that, but not telling a lot about it. I don't know. I know one thing. Me and a boy had a fight up there one night. Boy lived at Crossroads.
You want to tell what women girl it was?
What we bought them little rubber balls and had a long rubber thing, and you throw it back and forth like that.
Uh-huh.
And we were throwing and hitting one another, and he turned around, and I hit him right back of the head with it. He got mad, and we had a fight. And that boy was, I know I gave him a pretty good whipping. I was pretty stout little man. What was that boy's name? Lived down at Crossroads.
Well, that's all right if you don't recall it right offhand, but those things are kind of interesting to people who might see this and look at it. In one of our interviews, we had one of our people tell us that they heard of an airplane which fell into a pond out here at the fairground during an exhibition one time. Now, Miss Spencer, you say that you recall that time when that airplane hit that pond out there?
Probably can't hear you.
Do you recall when that airplane hit that pond out there?
No, I can't recall right now. I can't think much more.
While we had the camera.
The plane hit the pond. If it went in the pond?
Uh-huh.
Seemed me like I kind of got a recollection of that, but I couldn't tell you much about it.
Okay, sometimes our mind plays tricks on us when we get older and we forget some of these things, forget the details. But Miss Spencer, we'd like to thank you for coming to us and for this interview, and possibly you told us something that might be of benefit to someone in the years to come. And I thank you, son, for you being here too. Thank you a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, and now we have Alberta Lawson. Alberta's coming to us, and she says she has some fond memories of this area. And I'm going to ask her some questions, and I don't know what she's going to sing a song for us, but she's going to do something to entertain us. But anyway, Alberta, tell us who your parents were.
J.C. Williams and Steve Lawson, L-A-W-T-O-N, and I'm L-A-W-S-O-N.
Okay, can you tell me when you were born? You want to tell it?
Mm-mm.
You don't want to tell when you were born?
Mm-mm.
Okay, if you don't want to, that's all right. Where were you born? You tell that?
Mm-hmm, Pynes.
Down at Pynes.
Mm-hmm.
Down on the railroad track, below Pynes, I'll bet. Okay, and did you go to school down there somewhere?
Yeah, I went to the school.
What school did you go to?
St. Martin.
St. Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before I got her on camera a while ago, I asked her if she's kin to L.C. Lawson. It just so happened that a long time ago, L.C. lived down in that same area.
Yeah, we
And I
all.
was born not far from there, across the railroad track there myself.
Yeah,
And I knew L.C. all these years and knew his wife too.
yeah.
I think she used to come and hold me when I was a baby, I heard. Okay, anything you want to tell us about those young days back there that you recall?
No, yes. I just played foot. It's all I had. I didn't work. I wouldn't work.
What kind of work did you do?
Chopping cotton, picking cotton.
How much cotton did you pick a day?
200.
200. Now, do you pull burrs too, or do you pull?
Cotton.
You pull cotton. Okay, that's a whole lot more than I could.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who were some folks you worked with down there and you down in that area?
I worked with I can't think of her name. She's still here. The mail carrier. What's her name? Winnie?
Winnie.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Miss Reed.
Okay. Okay, can you, you said you went to school at St. Martin. You didn't go to school anywhere else after that? Okay, you want to tell us about a marriage or something like that?
What? About my marriage?
Yeah. You wasn't married? You never been married?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want to tell us who it is?
I told you I married an initial man. His name is J.L. Lawson.
Okay. Just a W and an S.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How about that?
That's good.
I heard you, but I didn't catch it.
I could tell people I ain't married.
Okay, you having children?
One
One? Okay, boy or girl?
girl.
Where does she live?
She's dead now. We were living in New York.
In New York.
Mm-hmm.
I see. You have any recollections of the big city of Pynes down there? About anything happened going down there?
No.
You don't recall too much about it. Okay, did you ever come to Pittsburg?
Mm-hmm.
You ever go to the fair?
Yeah, what's bad?
You see anything exciting out there? Anything unusual?
Just all things that are going on in there.
Okay, now before the war they had a drawing uptown there and it created a bit of excitement here and quite a few people came up there. You recall that? Before World War II? Okay. Okay, that's, can you think of anything else that you need to tell us you think would be important?
No.
Now it's your chance to be on TV and tell something. If you have a good joke, tell it.
You wouldn't want to hear that.
Maybe she wants to sing.
Do you want to sing a song?
What? What you want me to say?
Well, it ain't a good song. If you can sing it, we might put it on here. You can't ever tell.
I'll sing whatever you want me to sing.
Okay, we'll save that for later on. But thank you for coming in, and maybe you help somebody too.
Yeah.
See, sometimes you may accidentally mention a name, which will indicate that they lived in that area. So those things are important too.
Well, Jesse Uden, did you know him?
Who?
Jesse Uden.
I've heard the name. Lived down in that area? I see. Who else lived down in that area?
A bunch of them. And all of them mostly were Lawson.
All of them Lawson. That's Lawsonville, wasn't it? Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, we'll let you go now, and thank you again. And if you think of something else, let us know, and we may come back to you.
Okay.
I have with me now Mary Armstrong. And Mary, we want to ask you some questions, and perhaps you can tell us something. Can you tell us where you were born?
I was born in Hindman, Alabama, Cleveland County.
Okay, what county?
Cleveland County.
Cleveland County. Okay, can you want to tell us when that was?
No, son, I don't know what it is. Nothing.
That's all right if you don't know. Can you tell me who your parents were?
Nancy Johnson and Will Johnson. They're both married. She's Armstrong.
Okay. Now, did you go to school back there, or did you go to
I went to
somewhere?
school in Pittsburg.
Now, when did you come to Texas? Do you know?
Well, now I tell you, I was young when they come to Texas. I don't know what
Quite
year it
young.
was. Yes,
But
sir.
then you went to school
Here in
here
Pittsburg.
in Pittsburg.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you go any further than just high school or regular school?
Didn't go nowhere but high school here in Pittsburg.
Went to high school here in Pittsburg. Okay. I guess you got married sometime or other, didn't you?
Yes, sir. But didn't stay married long.
Well, you want to tell us when that was and who it was?
Well, I tell you, I can't think when it
It's
was.
up to you now, whether you want to.
I can't think when it was, and I don't want to tell no story.
Okay, I know how that is. But
Been so
I get
long.
things too.
Been so long.
Okay, now, do you have any recollection of things about Pittsburg and Camptown that's unusual? Do you think we ought to know about?
Well, nothing no more. After I got big enough to know about Pittsburg, I worked here, worked at M&S Hospital
Okay, that's good.
3 years under Dr. Wright, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Mitchell, and Dr. Colesnow.
I see. Okay.
Them was the doctors there. And Miss Boggs and Miss Army Hill.
Yes,
them
I
was the-
remember Miss Fox and Miss Hill too.
Yeah.
Okay. You must have worked there over 3 years to work with both of them.
No. Don't think I worked over 3 years.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, did anything unusual happen out there while you were out there that you know of?
No, sir, nothing I know of. Everything went along smooth.
Okay. Did you ever go to the fair when you were here?
Yes, sir.
You did? Okay. Anything happen out there that you recall?
No, sir, nothing never happened. Just me walking around looking at things, seeing
Walking
different
around?
things.
Okay, well, a lot of us did those things. We didn't have money to spend for anything else. Did you?
No, just had to look.
You ever go to the grandstand over there?
No, sir, I never did go
If you
there.
go to the grandstand, you got to go to the exhibit halls, all those exhibits, I imagine.
Yes, sir, I went to that and saw all those things.
Okay. Did you ever do work anywhere else except home and at the hospital?
Yeah. I worked in Longview about 3 years. I can't think of the folks' name now.
What kind of work was it?
Housework.
Housework?
Kept her. She had a little girl, and I kept her while she would go, different places. She'd leave me with this little girl. But I can't think of her name right now. But they were nice to me.
Okay.
She'd go off sometime, leave me and that little girl a month before she come back.
How long you been out here at this?
Oh, I guess about a year, maybe not be quite a year.
You gave you plenty to eat out here, don't you?
Yes, sir. That I lack. Give me a whole lot I don't lack, but I don't have to eat it.
Okay, can you think of anything else you need to tell us or would like to tell us?
No, sir, no more. Everybody's nice out here in this nursing home to me. Ain't nobody never did nothing to me. Everybody treat me nice, and I try to act nice myself.
Okay.
Don't give nobody no trouble. I don't guess I do. They haven't said anything.
Okay, we thank you, and maybe you get to see yourself sometime on TV. Okay, we have another person to interview at this time, and would you give us your name, please?
Winnie Smith.
Winnie Smith. Okay, and where were you born, Winnie?
I was born near that old Hepsby Church.
At the old Hepsby Church. Now, that's pretty close to the county line, isn't it?
I think it is. We're close to Carolina.
Pretty close to the county line. Okay, do you want to tell us when you were born?
September the 17th, 1960.
Okay, now, who are your parents?
Love Taylor and Lady Morton.
Okay, and do you know any grandparents' names?
Yes, I know my grandparents. Alexander called him Bud, Alexander Taylor. I don't know who his wife was.
Okay.
She's Maddie. I know too. Maddie. Redfield.
Okay. Now, you went to school where?
I went to school at Hepsby.
At Hepsby. Okay, how far did you go to the school there?
Well, I went to finished about the 4th, 3rd, or 5th, I think. No, 6th.
6th.
I went to 7th and 8th in Newsom.
Newsom?
Newsom.
You finished school in Newsom?
No, I finished school at Winsboro.
Finished school at Winsboro? Okay, good. How about college?
I have some college work.
You what?
I have college work.
College work? Where'd you go?
Commerce.
Commerce? How long did you go up there?
6 years.
6 years? You have a master's degree?
Yes.
That's what I figured.
And I have more. We'll just go to the master's.
Okay, now, what did you do after you got out of college?
I was a teacher.
Teacher? How long did you teach?
34 years.
How long, whereabouts did you teach?
I taught some. At Hepsby, 2 years at Hepsby, before our church disbanded, before our school disbanded. And I went to, let's see, where is the other place I went? I forgot what she asked me. I can't think. It was got off my mind.
That's all right. Okay, now, I guess you got married somewhere down the line.
I got married when I was 32 years old.
Okay, you want to tell us who he was?
Leon Smith.
Leon Smith. Okay, what kind of work did he do?
He was a teacher, too.
He was a teacher, too? Teaching the same school you were?
No, we didn't teach together.
Different one. Okay. And you lived, outside the time you was teaching, most of the time in Camp County then, hadn't you? Or right thereabouts?
Yeah,
Okay, did you ever come to Pittsburg anything when you were growing up? Do you recall anything about the fair or these things we've been talking about?
I don't believe I do. I believe that's before me.
That's before your time? Well, now, I don't know.
I'm 70 years old.
That's all right. It went on a long time after you got up, but that's all right. Okay, you don't recall anything that happened in Pittsburg unusual?
No, my father won the car one year. At Christmas time, he won a new car.
How about that?
Oh, that's
Do you know when it was?
Don't know the year.
Okay. Now, how about back at Hepsby or something back there? Can you tell us anything interesting that happened back there that's unusual? Or?
No, they just had a real fine church there.
Real fine church. Okay. Which church? You go to Hepsby Church most of your life?
Baptist,
Baptist Church. Okay. And how long you been out the rest home here?
A year of 18.
A year of 18. Okay. Now, you having children?
No, sir.
No children? Okay, and since you've been out to rest home, how about, now, well, they call it nursing center. I keep calling it rest home. They give me get my goat if I keep doing that. Anyway, have they been good to you out
Oh,
here?
that's good to me,
Okay, give you plenty to eat?
Uh-huh.
Don't whip you very much, do they?
No, not very.
Okay, anything else you think you would like to tell us that would be of interest?
No, I guess not.
Okay, we'd like to thank you for coming through and look up that camera so she can get a good square shot of your face. And if it goes on TV sometime and doesn't break the tube, then maybe you can see it again sometime. I have another young lady here with us now. You want to tell us your name?
Jeanette Pynes,
Okay, and what was your maiden name?
Maxie,
Okay, and who were your parents?
Belle Maxie, and Sam Maxie.
Okay, when did you first discover this country?
All about 1911.
1911. Okay, now, I might as well tell these folks who might be listening to it that we've done this before. It's the second time around for her. The first time I didn't have the microphone on, so I know something about her already before I ask you. Okay, now you want to tell us where you were born?
I was born twin here in Blodgett, twin here in Blodgett, there at the Cypress. You know where that big creek is?
Yes, I know.
Big lake.
Big lake.
Yep. I was born right up there on the hill in a house.
Okay, and as I told him, yes, that's at Plum, Nettie.
Yeah,
Plum out of the town, nearly out of the country.
yeah, yeah.
Now, maybe somebody won't get mad at us if we say that, but that's growing up out there now.
I mean to tell you.
Okay, now, you went to school where?
At Union.
At Union.
Union.
Okay. And how many grades did you go to out
To
there?
the 9th grade.
9th grade.
Yeah.
Then you got married.
Yeah.
Now, yes, we weaseled out of you that you had been married twice.
That's right.
Now, let's tell us about the first marriage and...
I married the first time 1925.
And who was that to?
Johnny Jones.
Johnny Jones. Okay, and you had one child, I believe you told me yesterday.
Sammy Jones.
Sammy Jones, okay. We're trying to keep the record straight now. The reason I'm asking you
I know,
say.
go ahead, I don't mind.
Okay, now, did anything unusual happen when you was going to school out there that you...
Yeah, we all, you know...
I don't mean besides burning down school. Did you burn down school?
We tried it. We played ball, and us girls and boys would write notes, you know, and these girls would get up against it. They'd tell stories and wouldn't tell them the truth. And I'd tell them the truth, and I didn't have to stay in. I said, yeah, I wrote a note.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We all done that when we was in school, way back yonder.
Yeah, a lot of us might not like to remember it.
No, no.
Might not to admit it, but we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, and then you, did you do any work anywhere for anyone outside of the...
I retired in the M&S hospital. That was the name of it.
Okay.
At that time, with
What kind of
Dr.
work
Wright.
did you do out there?
Huh?
What kind of work were you
I
doing?
did private nursing.
Okay.
Set up at night with patients, the people at harm had set up with them. I did private nursing. Mr. L. Wells, you might have remembered him.
Mr. Who?
L. Wells.
Oh, yes.
I nursed him a year at night from 7 till 7 the next morning.
Now, that was Carl L. Wells?
Yeah, that's right.
Carl
That's
L.
right.
Wells. Kind of related to me.
He was a good man.
His wife and my mother
Yeah.
were first
Well, she
cousins.
stayed with him days, and I stayed with him nights.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, now back yonder at in your younger days, did you do any work then? You never picked any cotton, did you?
Yeah, 400 pounds a day.
Now, you told me 400 pounds last time, and you know that's a lot of cotton.
Well, I done it. I done it. I ain't telling you so.
Your words.
I told you so. I could pick that stuff. I could just go, but I couldn't pull it. But I could pick it, but I couldn't pull it. I did. I tipped the scale for 400 a day, me and my nephew. We picked a bale of cotton every 2 days.
Well, I know that was done, and the person had to be
It
real
was
good
good
to do it.
cotton, good cotton back
Good
in them
cotton.
days.
And the person had to be real good and
That's
on his
right.
toes to do it,
That's
too.
right.
Okay,
That's
do you
right.
ever do any other kind of work out there?
Yeah, I chopped cotton, I plowed.
Didn't work any potatoes?
Yeah, dug potatoes.
I figured two
I worked
potatoes
at the
growing around
I
here.
worked at the canning plant, and I worked at the potato house when they need the hand to cull potatoes, number ones. I could do that.
That's sweet potatoes?
Yep, sweet
Okay.
potatoes. I done that.
Okay. Now, you met another young man one time, and you married him. You want to tell us what his name
Yeah.
was and when that was?
Tandy Pynes, 1936. We got married
19.
at Houston at 7 o'clock in the night. 7
7
o'clock.
o'clock in the morning or night?
Night. 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, you recall anything unusual happening along about that time? Do you want to tell us about?
Yeah, we a cloud come up and we was all in it, and I'm telling you, we had it rough trying to get back home. It,
Is that on the wedding night?
tore down. We was in the house, and it tore our chimney down. It fell down in the room with us. I'm telling you, it scared us. Scared me. It was a bad cloud.
Now, are you sure that wasn't a chivalry that was taking place out there?
No, it wasn't a chivalry. I done had it.
You mean you got a chivalry too?
Yeah, I had it twice.
Twice. Okay, did you ever take part in one of them other than just being a recipient of it?
I have. Not about here a while back. My son's wife's daughter got married, and we chivalried her. And I was in it and in the wedding. And that was, we just tore her up. Bunch of us older women. We all pitched in, got her.
Well, did they finally come down and join the party with you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's usually the case, I
Yeah,
understand.
that's the way. And about the fire, that fire was something, and that pool is still there, brother. That pool's still there. I've caught a many bass out of that pool.
Uh-huh.
And that plane fell in that pool. And we had rodeo, and I went to the rodeo, and you know, they had Cupid dolls to throw balls
Oh,
and
yeah.
catch you one.
Now, you talking about the fair?
Yeah, I'm talking about the fire.
Okay.
And that fire was something, boy.
Yeah, I know it was.
That was. Yeah.
Did you win a Cupid doll?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was always pretty lucky.
Did you win it or somebody win it for you?
Well, I win one, and he win one, too.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to tell me about your other children now?
Yeah, I got, but Sammy Jones works at the gas company, Louisiana Gas Company.
Okay, now you have some children, Pynes. How about them?
Bobby Paul works at the water wells here in the country.
Okay.
And Larry Pynes works at Timothy in the bank. He lives this side of Houston.
Okay. Now, I don't recall just what all the other time we talked about, but have we missed something that you didn't tell the last time? Or?
Yeah, I was going to tell you about the creek. One time, you know, the creek pulled and made it all into a river there in the lakes. Well, my daddy died in 1919, and we had our lot at Leesburg, and we was going to bury him at Leesburg, but we couldn't cross the creek because the water was swimming, and we carried him to Monticello. He was buried in Monticello, and Mother was buried at Leesburg, so the creek's got us both ways. We couldn't put them together, so we buried her at Leesburg, and he's buried at Monticello.
Okay, that happened a lot back in those days.
1919, son, the 28th day of February.
Now, you're talking about a little storm a while ago. Did you ever in a tornado?
Yep, blowed my house down.
When was this now?
It's about 1929, the 9th day of April. Me and my mother and my two brothers. The house tore up, and it took everything out of the room but the beds did, and all three of us held to that, 4 of us held to that bed, and God took care of us right there. Killed my dog, everything. That is about 1929, April the 9th. That's
Okay.
right.
Now, we were talking about the fair a little bit ago. Do you anything else you think about the fair that you ought to tell us?
Yeah, we had everything in that fair. They'd get drunk and they'd chase the girls around.
Chase the girls around?
Yeah, they'd chase them girls
Did they catch
around.
you?
Cried, no, they didn't get me. I already had one. They couldn't catch me. I done had a boy. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Back in them days, and used to, when I was young, I had a brother to follow me, and we'd go to dances. Back in them days, son, there wasn't no drinking. It wasn't bad to drink and get drunk. And we had dances in the home, and that's where we had a ball. We got to dance there, and in the house, we just had a ball.
I remember that too.
I remember, Lord, I've called a square set a many times. You don't know me. Yeah.
Okay, now, how long have you been out here at the rest home?
4 years.
There you go, we call it rest home again.
4 years, and I would not be nowhere else. I'm happy. We've got good food, we got good nurses, and good aides, and good bosses, and Michelle can't be beat. Nor our boss either, nor our nurses. They're #1, and they all love me.
Well, I know they'll hug your neck for saying that.
Well,
I've heard that from...
I'm not telling you this to be in your face, but that's the truth. I went down my boys. My oldest boy is mad. He'll come to the door, but he won't come in. He said, Mama, I told you I had a place out here for you. I said, not for me. You ain't. I wouldn't be nowhere else. And they told me, says, you don't even have time to come out the house now. I said, no, I'm tied up. I love this place, baby. We got a wonderful place.
Well, now,
I wished everybody was as happy as I am and be contented.
well, I've heard that not only is the help good out here, but they have a little help from some of the patients out here.
Yeah. Arba and I help them. Yeah. We picked up trays today, washed 17 tables, and rolled the silverware, and got to roll it again. That's a little. Yeah.
Okay.
We help them all. Now, we help them all, and I help Michelle. I led Sunshine Club on Monday and Thursday for her.
I see.
Yeah, I help her all I can.
Did you eat that barbecue last night?
Yeah, I sure did.
Was it good?
Yes, it is good. That's what I told the cooks and what I told Michelle. Michelle barbecued it. She cooked it.
Well, now, I noticed in the paper today that someone else barbecued it. Oh, I believe she did help, didn't she?
Yeah, he helped her.
Yeah, okay.
He helped her, but she really done it.
Oh, she was the boss now.
Yeah, she's the boss.
Okay,
Yeah.
Miss Pynes, it's good to talk to you.
Yeah.
We're going to let you go now. And thank you again for coming. And
I appreciate it. Come back when you ain't busy, and I'll show you how to play for it, too.
Okay. I am Lacy Davis, and we're at the Pittsburg Nursing Center today. The Friends of the Library asked the Historical Committee to come out here and interview some of the older patients out here to see if we could find a little about history. We're hoping that they might inadvertently say something which might be of interest, which might be of assistance to someone who is writing a history, who is looking up a family history, or something like that. Now, I am a member of that committee. My wife, Jane, who right now is behind the camera, is also a member of that committee. But standing beside me is the chairman of that committee, and I'm going to let her give her own name and whatever she has to say.
My name is Marie Lantrip, and I'm just delighted that we've been able to work with the people here at Pittsburg Nursing Center. They have taught us a lot already, and we're looking forward to learning more each time we speak with someone.
Right now, I have beside me a young lady who is responsible for the work out here, some of the work out here at the Nursing Center, and she's the one who did all the arranging out here, and I'm going to let her tell her name and what her activity, what she's supposed to be doing out here, and anything else she might want to tell us.
I'm Michelle Hindman, and I'm Social Rehabilitation and Activities Coordinator. It's a long title that says that I help the residents have a good time while they're here, try to meet their needs. And we appreciate your coming. We think that the Friends of the Library are really neat. It's really nice to have people from the library to come bring us books and to help us contribute also. So we hope that by contributing to this tape and the residents participating, that we can contribute back to the community for all the good that they do for us. And we thank you for coming.
I'm Jane Davis, and I'm a member of the Historical Committee of the Friends of the Library, and I work with Marie, and we're also working with Lacy, or he's working with us, one or the other, and we're all having a good time interviewing these people at the nursing center.